Hey, what is up guys, Zisto here, back at you again with another Grand Theft Auto online video. Today I've got something really special planned. This is a full tutorial on how to get richer than you could possibly imagine. This video is going to cover a lot of content, so I'm putting timestamps down below so that you can skip to the part that is relevant for you. Here I'll be showing you how to scale earnings per hour to over $1 million. How to, and in what order you should buy all the properties, and finally, how to build your bank account to over $100 million. This guide will also be supplemented by some other GTA guides I will be making. So if you want to get the most out of this guide, check out the other guides that will be linked in the description. One more thing, this guide is solo friendly. So if you don't have friends on GTA Online or they're never on, this guide will work great for you too. Oh, and if you're subscribed, don't forget to ring that notification bell so that YouTube will notify you whenever I upload new videos. This video will be organized into 5 sections, all covering different levels of wealth. Phase 1 is where every single GTA Online player starts, absolutely broke. Unless you bought a shark card, of course. When you are in Phase 1, the goal is to make your first $1 million. By making your first $1 million, you can afford a high-end apartment, the Kuruma armored car, and plenty of good guns, which will bring you into Phase 2. This is the heisting phase. The $1 million you earned in Phase 1 will be spent to help you get started leading heists, where you can start making millions more, which will be used to get you into Phase 3. Phase 3 is where you own an active business, where you make money based on the missions you choose to run. These active businesses are far more profitable and reliable than heists, and here is where you will start making the real money. So after grinding your way through Phase 3 and acquiring millions, you will finally be ready to enter Phase 4. In Phase 4, like Phase 3, you are buying businesses, but now you are buying passive businesses, which will make you money while you're working on active businesses, so you're like making double the money. Finally, after a certain point, you enter Phase 5. In this phase, you are incredibly rich and own all the businesses. Your only goal here is to build that $100 million stockpile so you'll never have to worry about money again. Once I've covered all the phases, I'll be talking about some quick ways to make a lot of money at the beginning and to just give some quick tips on how to make money faster at the end. So now that we've briefly covered the phases, let's get into it. Phase 1 is the phase where nearly everyone starts, absolutely broke without a dollar to your name. Here, your goal is to first get to $50,000 and then to make $1 million. You need $50,000 in your bank in order to activate VIP, which will make the march to $1 million all that much faster. I'll tell you why in a minute. Something important to note first is that this phase will feel pretty grindy. You will feel tempted to blow your money on stuff the first chance you get. But I'm urging you to stay disciplined and to spend as little as possible until you hit that $1 million mark. There are a couple of ways to reach this $1 million mark, but both require some patience. For the first method, you first need to reach $50,000, which honestly should be very easy. You just need to play like 4 or 5 jobs to hit that mark. For any of you who don't know what jobs are, they are just random missions Rockstar's made over the years. Some are PvP, some are PvE. But I personally think most of them are very fun. The jobs I would recommend are transform races because I think they are an absolute blast and you all would have a ton of fun with them. Survival missions because they give a ton of RP which will help you rank up fast. And the Los Santos Connection contact mission because it is easily the highest paying job. Finally, make sure to check the Rockstar Newswire, which I will link in the description, to see the jobs that are paying double money that week. The reset is every Thursday, so don't forget to check it every week. After grinding some jobs for about an hour, you will hit $50,000 easily. With this $50,000, you can now register as a VIP and get working on VIP jobs. The best way to do VIP work is to do Headhunter, then a job like the Los Santos Connection, and then Sightseer. This rotation will constantly be allowing you to make money without waiting for cooldown counters. The reason why you only do Headhunter and Sightseer is because they are the easiest and quickest jobs. Headhunter, you just have to ride around the map and kill 4 marked targets, who are typically somewhat close or at least in the same region of the map. For Sightseer, you just have to do a quick puzzle on your phone, then drive to a location and pick up a package 3 times. These all pay out around $22,000, so by doing this VIP rotation with the job in the middle, you could easily start making around $100,000 an hour. And if you're efficient, you could even make over $200,000 an hour. Now that you have a rotation, just keep grinding this out until you hit the 1 million mark. The other way you become a millionaire, and the one I personally like more because it promotes a more helpful community, go find and help a CEO or MC president sell a ton of product, and after a while ask them to take you on a heist. Usually, if you have made them good money and shown you're a decently competent player, they will agree. This method does take some luck, but I have found it to be far more fun, usually quicker, and at the end of it, you have made a friend. This is the way I got started, and how I help people today. For example, just yesterday, I was playing with someone who was extremely helpful. They helped me make $7 million in sales. So I decided to show my thanks and take them on the Diamond Casino heist, where we both made $800,000 in just a couple hours of work. If you don't feel like grinding and just want to make a friend, go help someone out and you will probably be very happy you did so. So now that you finally hit the 1 million mark, you are just about ready to move into phase 2. But there are a couple of things you need to buy first. Firstly, you need the Karen Kuruma armored car, which you can buy for $525,000 on Southern San Andreas Super Autos. This car is extremely useful for all sorts of missions, especially heists, because of how well armored it is, its decent speed, and good handling. This car is an all-around super useful vehicle that I still sometimes use today, and I have the Oppressor Mark II. So with your remaining $475,000, you need to buy some guns and a high-end apartment. For a starting high-end apartment, I would recommend Tinsel Towers Apartment 45 from Dynasty 8 Realty for $270,000 because it has a great location and is one of the cheapest high-end apartments. If you decide you want a cheaper car and you want to spend more money on your apartment, watch my apartment buying guide, which will take you through all the ins and outs of all the different apartments. I'll be linking it in the description if any of you want to check it out. With your last $205,000, buy whatever guns and ammo you can so you can keep up with your crew on heists. I would strongly recommend getting a micro SMG for vehicle combat and a SMG for normal combat. And don't forget to upgrade both of those as much as you possibly can. Finally, with whatever money you have left, just save it because you're going to need it for heist setup costs. Once you've bought all that, you are now ready to start phase 2. Phase 2 is all about heisting to try and get those huge payouts. The goal in this phase is to complete all the heists and make as much money as possible while doing it. This is just going to be a quick rundown of the heists. If you want to see a detailed guide, I will be making one in the coming weeks, and if it already exists, you should see a link in the description and a card at the top. Now, before I start guiding you through the heist, just a few quick things. You should probably try to do these heists on normal difficulty if you're going through with random players, but you can try the hard difficulty if you have friends who you are talking to with mics. Also, make sure you're giving out fair cuts for the people doing heists with you. I would personally recommend taking 40% for yourself and giving 20% to all teammates if they helped with setups. If they did not help with setups, pay them 15% and give yourself the extra 5%. The first heist you will be doing is the Flecka job. This is the shortest and easiest heist, which only requires 2 people. Here, you should do a 60-40 split for the take. If you are doing this heist on normal difficulty, you should make $57,000 in profit. The next heist is the prison break. Here, things go way up difficulty-wise, but the payout is significantly better. After the setup costs and payouts, you should make between $120,000 and $180,000 from this heist, depending on if your crew helped you with the setups. From here, the payouts should start scaling up quite a bit. The next heist is the Humane Labs raid, which is basically the opposite from the prison break, as it is similar to a Black Ops infiltration mission. It's a lot of fun. Here you should make between $176,000 and $262,000, again depending on if your crew helped with the setups. The fourth heist is Series A funding, where you crowdfund a bunch of different drugs and make a huge sale at the end. The heist is relatively easy, so the payouts will go down, but it takes far less time. Here, you should make between $121,000 and $181,000. The final heist is the Pacific Standard, which is by far the most difficult but rewarding heist you can run through your apartment. Here, you will make between $300,000 and $450,000. Now, there are more ways to bump up the money you can make. There are different challenges you can do, and you could bump up the difficulty to get that pay increase. So, if you want some more info on how to make millions while doing these heists, don't forget to check out the heist guide below. In this guide, I will be covering how to do the Criminal Mastermind Challenge, which pays out $10 million. If you successfully do this on your first run through the heists, you will have enough money to skip straight to Phase 4. Anyways, you now have made a minimum of $775,000 for your first run through of the heists. Now hopefully you've made a lot more than that, but it's still a pretty good take regardless. Now that you've run through the heists, your next goal is to make $2.5 million. This is the money needed to buy a CEO office from Dynasty 8 Executive and a vehicle warehouse. If you saw the heist guide and followed those steps, you are already there through your first run through. But if you're not quite there yet, just keep running the Pacific Standard or doing VIP work until you finally hit that number. When you make $2.5 million, go and buy the cheapest CEO office for $1 million. When you've purchased your office, go to the computer in your office and purchase the La Mesa vehicle warehouse for another $1.5 million. Now that you finally have your first business, you are ready to start Phase 3. Before we discuss Phase 3 and eventually Phase 4, I have to explain businesses real quick. There are two types, active and passive. Active businesses require you to source the product yourself, so you are doing all of the work. The upside of this is that you are making money as fast as you can work. The downside is that they are a lot more work than passive businesses are. Passive businesses make money in the background, but you're going to have to wait for it. This is why we start Phase 3 with active businesses. They allow you to work for your money rather than just wait around for it. So now that we've covered that, on to Phase 3. Phase 3 is all about building enough wealth to start buying passive businesses, which will make you more money while you're working on the active businesses. Your goal in this phase is to earn enough money to buy your first passive business, which will bring you into Phase 4. This phase is actually relatively short, and you can easily get through it in, say, a week. All you have to do is source and sell vehicles through your vehicle warehouse. Each sourcing mission takes between 5 and 10 minutes, and there is a 5-minute cooldown between each mission. Your warehouse can hold 40 cars, and your first goal is to fill it to max capacity. So, filling your warehouse should only take around 6 hours or so. You may be wondering why not just sell the cars as soon as you source them, and that I will explain in a minute. So, there are 3 different types of cars you can source: low-end, mid-range, and high-end. Low-end and mid-range cars make significantly less on sale than the high-end cars. In the process of filling your warehouse, the game will only have you source a limited number of low-end and mid-range cars. This means that once you have a full warehouse, if you only sell high-end cars, then you only get source missions for high-end cars, and you don't have to waste time sourcing low-end or mid-range cars. Now that we've talked about the best way of sourcing, let's talk about selling. The solo method is to sell a high-end vehicle for $75,000 in profit. Then, with the 10-minute cooldown, go source another vehicle to refill your warehouse. And then do a VIP mission like Headhunter or Sightseer. Just keep repeating this pattern to see the best results. By following this method, you will be able to make around $400,000 an hour and keep your warehouse full, no problem. If you want to see more about active businesses, I'll be making a more in-depth guide about them. If it already exists when you are watching this, then there will be a link in the description and a card at the top. In the guide, I will be covering the other active businesses like smuggling and special cargo, as well as going more in depth about the import-export vehicle business. To start Phase 4, you will need to make $3,070,000, which, if you followed the heist guide, you should already be at. The money will be used to start your first passive business, which will make you money along with your active business. So first you need to buy the Great Chaparral MC Clubhouse on Mazebank Foreclosures for $200,000. This will allow you to start getting into MC biker businesses. With your clubhouse, you will now want to buy the cheapest cocaine lockup, the Alamo C1, for $970,000. From here, you are now ready to start selling, but you should buy the upgrades first. I know, you're probably wondering why you would waste almost $2 million extra dollars just for some upgrades. Well, these upgrades are crucial to the success of the business and will make it far more profitable. Without any upgrades, you can only make around $30,000 an hour in profit. That's basically nothing. But with the upgrades, you can make nearly $100,000 an hour passively. To start making money, you are going to need to do a setup mission, which is honestly pretty easy. After that mission, you are now all ready to start making money. All you need to do is stop by your cocaine lockup once every hour or so to buy some more supplies. You want to buy supplies rather than stealing them because you will still make a lot of profit, but you get to devote more of your time to your active businesses, which will make you a lot more money for your time. When you are finally filled up, find at least one person in your lobby to help you sell, preferably 2 to 3, but 1 will work. If you want to know how to scale your passive business earnings up as much as possible, don't forget to watch my passive business guide. In that guide, I'll be covering every passive business, including the nightclub, the bunker, and I will be explaining in detail how to ramp up your MC business production to the point where you are making over $300,000 in profit per hour easily. Now that you have enough businesses to generate $500,000 an hour, it's time to start looking at how you're going to get to Phase 5. You've made it through the first part of Phase 4, but the next part is significantly harder. Phase 5 is extremely difficult to reach because of the amount of money involved, but if you follow this guide and stick with it, you will make it. The rest of Phase 4 is simply about building your businesses to generate as much wealth as possible. The first businesses you should plan on expanding are your MC businesses. There are 5 different MC businesses you should own, but for now, you are only going to want to own 3. These 3 are the cocaine business, as we talked about earlier, the meth business, and the counterfeit cash business. The reason you'll want to limit it to 3 businesses right now is because sometimes businesses get rated for products, and you have to manually resupply your businesses, like in each individual building, rather than one centralized computer when you're first getting started. Also, the other 2 businesses, weed and forged documents, make such little in profit that they aren't worth the time until you have the arcade, which I will talk about towards the end of the video. After getting those 2 MC businesses up and running, you are going to want to buy the bunker business next. This business is insanely profitable and just as easy to run as any of the MC businesses. You just have to do one setup mission, keep it supplied, and sell when you're ready. An added bonus for this business is that if you would like, you can dedicate half your staff to research, which will unlock new weapons and skins like explosive or flammable ammo. The final business you will need to buy before making it to Phase 5 is the nightclub. The nightclub is so amazing for a number of reasons. It will eventually help you buy the Oppressor Mark II. It generates income without any supplies into the nightclub warehouse, so everything is pure profit. And you make extra money from the nightclub itself that will go into a safe in your nightclub office. The nightclub is a little more complicated to run as it effectively functions as 2 businesses, the nightclub and the warehouse, so it might take some time to figure out. If you want to learn more about that, don't forget to watch the Passive Business Guide. I will have the link in the description and a card will show up at the top. All of these businesses will cost you a good amount, so this will take a lot of grinding, but you will be progressively making more money per hour the farther you get through this phase. To fully set up the meth business, you'll need $2.754 million for the cheapest location. For the cash business, you will need a minimum of $2,374,000. The good thing about buying the cheapest locations for the 3 biker businesses is that they are all close together, so it won't take a lot of time to resupply them. For the bunker, don't buy the cheapest location. It is in Paleto Bay, which is on the northmost side of the map, and it is such a pain to get to. The bunker you should start with is the Chumash bunker, which is, with upgrades, $3,754,000. Finally, for the nightclub, I would recommend starting with the Vespucci Canals location. This location, along with level 5 storage, 5 technicians, and all the upgrades, all of which I highly recommend, will cost $6.5 million. Now, I get how expensive that is, so if you're trying to save money, cut out the security upgrade, the staff upgrade, and lower your storage to level 3. This will save you a little more than $2 million without lowering the effectiveness of the nightclub that much. Again, make sure you watch the passive business guide to fully understand how to run the nightclub. I cannot stress this enough. If you run it wrong, you could lose millions in potential profits. The total cost of all these businesses is a massive $15,378,500, but after that, you can finally reach phase 5. Finally, after working so hard and making and investing nearly $20 million, you are now ready to enter phase 5. This phase is divided up into 2 parts. The first part is buying and improving all the businesses so you have the optimal environment to make money. The second part is about building your fortune to over $100 million so that you will never have to make another dime again. To really get through to the end goal in this phase, it will probably take over 100 hours of grinding, but at the end of it, you will be happy you put in the work. At this point, your current businesses should be able to earn between $600,000 and $700,000 per hour, and really, you just want to reinvest this back into your businesses. The first thing I would recommend buying is the arcade. This centralizes all your businesses under one location and allows for the expansion of your MC businesses. Just a quick note, since you are trying to achieve that point where you own almost all the expensive businesses, upgrades, nice vehicles, etc., from here on out, I recommend buying the most expensive locations with all the upgrades for every building. So after the arcade, you should buy the 2 remaining businesses, weed and document forgery. They make less money than the other businesses, but together they will add an additional $80,000 an hour to your hourly income. So with these final purchases, you have finally built your passive income to the maximum. After building up your passive income, this leaves one step left, building your future potential income. This is the money that you will potentially earn, but you have to wait for the right opportunity. To get this started, use your computer in the CEO office to buy 555 large cargo warehouses. I'm so sorry. I mean only 5 large cargo warehouses, which can hold 555 crates. Now, I know this may seem excessive, but it will be worth it in the long run. Once you have your warehouses, source crates to fill all of them. You can source 3 crates every mission for $18,000, which is the most expensive, but honestly the most profitable way because it takes so much less time. Now, as you can tell, this is probably going to be very grindy and take a lot of time, so make sure you find something fun, like a heist or a job or anything you love to do whenever you feel yourself getting burnt out. It is very important to not get burnt out in order to make this money. It is key to fill all of them because once the double money week hits for crates, you will be making that much more money. As I mentioned before, every week, some business or activity is double money. Don't forget to check the Rockstar Newswire every week on Thursday to find out what it is. If you fill up all 5 warehouses and sell them on double money week, that is a $25 million payout. That is a quarter of your goal right there in one day. Now that you've built your income to its max potential, all I have left to recommend is, first, upgrade all remaining businesses and properties you currently own to the best locations possible. Then buy the Land Act Reservoir facility so you can run the Doomsday Heist if you ever feel like it. Next, buy the hangar, which can make you some money, but is honestly more functional as a place to store planes. Finally, buy some of the vanity items, which don't really serve a purpose other than to flex, like the yacht, the arena workshop, the casino penthouse, 4 more apartments, the gold private jet, basically whatever you want. You've earned it. Just as a general rule of thumb, try not to go below $10 million. When you own all of this, you will eventually want to build a $100 million stockpile to cover any future costs. To do this, just keep doing what you've been doing, but don't spend money. Easy. With these methods, you should be at $100 million in no time. Finally, I'm just going to give you some tips and tricks for this whole process. Firstly, the arcade is incredible for making passive income so much easier. It centralizes all the businesses into one computer. It, actually even makes the active businesses easier because you can source and sometimes sell your stuff from your arcade. So if you feel like buying this at any point in phase 3 or 4, go right ahead. It also allows you to do the Diamond Casino Heist, which if you do it right, you can earn over $800,000 an hour. If you want to find out how, don't forget to check out my Diamond Casino Heist guide, which I will link in the description. Some vehicles I highly recommend buying along the way are the Buzzard Chopper, which will make missions so much faster, and then when you get the nightclub, buy the Terabyte, which will allow you to buy and upgrade the Oppressor Mark II, which makes missions that much easier. Finally, just some quick solo tips for any of you who play solo. Firstly, for passive businesses, sell them when they are half full, so you only have to deal with one delivery vehicle. For heists, you can use a looking for group website to find people to do heists, or just wait for randoms to join. I will link the LFG website down below. Finally, for selling cars or crates, just ask people with chat. Usually you can find someone who is willing to join. Oh, and about the quick money making methods I mentioned at the beginning, which will help you make over $1 million like within your first 2 hours. I have made a video about that called the Beginner's Money Guide. I will leave a link to that down in the description below. Alright, that is all I have for you guys today. I put in a ton of work to make this the most complete GTA Online guide you will ever need, so if you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for many more GTA Online guides to come. Oh, and also don't forget, I will be releasing more videos that will make this video more helpful. This is kind of like the central video where other videos will explain certain topics in more depth. If you all can think of any other methods to make money, I would of course love to hear what you guys think, so please let me know down in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next Grand Theft Auto Online video.